working on Jason Tatum to figure out what that is. But you would think that you want to slow up, cut down on the possessions if you're the Celtics. It's a beautiful pass to Claxton inside. But shot clock, we're not as efficient. So we have to be able to get out in transition and try to sneak some baskets to put some points on the board.
Yeah, on the front line, you'd like as few possessions as possible to try to limit Brooklyn offensively. Jabari Parker with little
Tatum in the lineup. Where do you get your offense? Okay, I know Jabari Parker is a very capable scorer, but he hasn't been in the lineup that often. So Boston has to figure out ways like this maybe to get out in transition.
And just like that, as Parker scores it, nice leave by. Tough to close a team out. We saw that last night with the Wizards and the Sixers. Brooklyn trying to put the Celtics away and advance to round two in a date with the Milwaukee Bucks as Evan Fournier reigns one.
And maybe even take a lead while the other two of the big three are sitting on the pine trying to get a little rest.
There's Landry Shamet. And off the window. You got to call that, Landry.
He called it.
Bruce Brown checks in for Brooklyn. Claxton, an excellent defender. He's just a second-year player, but it feels more like his rookie year. And Fournier late in the clock comes up short. Claxton been dealing with a lot of injuries. Had a right knee injury. Missed the first 32 games. As Shamet with the assist. Harden's got 6 assists already. Peyton Pritchard responds with a three-pointer.
There's a little.
Langford going up there with Claxton. You saw Jason Tatum ready to check back in. Griffin will join him. Pritchard, bullet pass out to Jabari Parker. Man, the ball's popping with this particular. Every time you talk to Steve Nash, he reminds us that this is one of those games and one of those series that they've got to get used to each other. Hey, the NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by State Farm. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Burger King, the new hand-breaded chicken is here. Jackson.
Yeah, King. So listen, you know what's funny is that we asked Steve Nash about, okay, why did you keep the starters in there, the big three, late in the game? He was like, well, to be honest, that the game was over. That's why we probably kept him in there.
Yeah, first-year head coach, signed a 4-year deal in September. He's trying to continue a run here of first-year coaches to win an NBA title. Of course, Frank Vogel and the Lakers did it last season. Prior to that, Nick Nurse with the Raptors, first-year coach. Raptors won an NBA championship. 2016, Ty Lue did it with the Cavs. Steve Kerr did it in his first year in 2015. So we've had a number of first-year coaches get to the promised land in the NBA going back the last 6 seasons.
Yeah, but that right there is a little skewed, like numbers don't tell the whole story. Look at the teams and the players. And speaking of players, that's why he has an opportunity to join that crowd, is because those teams and those individual players were so great that allowed a first-year coach not having that experience to win.
Langford on the leave by Peyton Pritchard. Those two young players are playing well together. And, of course, that's first year with those particular teams.
Right.
Nash is a first-year coach never coached at any level, as a consultant with the Golden State Warriors. Here's Harris on a three. That is one of the sweetest strokes in the NBA. Led the NBA in three-point percentage. And Joe Harris knocks down his first three-pointer. He's got 5. Griffin trying to check Tatum. He gives it to Jabari Parker. Brooklyn by 6 with the ball here. 6.5 to go in the second quarter. Bruce Brown inside. Brown, no, and it's ripped off the rim by Tatum.
Good D that time. Both Tatum and Fournier just hands up in the air, and Jason able to knock in.
That's 22nd all-time. Tonight he is past Dennis Johnson, the former Celtic. A Smart comes up empty again. Pritchard saves it. Parker off the window. Peyton Pritchard, he's getting some good minutes here. Brad Stevens told us before the game, we're kind of at the point now we're going to have to play our young guys, give them extended minutes, sink or swim mode, down 3-1 in this series, and so far they're swimming well.
Well, the good thing about Peyton Pritchard, even though he's young, see KD miss another shot inside. Even though he's young, he spent like 30 years at Oregon, okay? So he has a lot of experience in regards to playing the game. Maybe not at the NBA level. And more importantly, the coaching staff trusts his decision-making because he played throughout the course of the season.
There'll be a foul on Jabari Parker here. That's a tough draw. Harden is the one who is in the pole position tonight for the Nets. Some nights it's KD, some nights it's Kyrie, some nights it's Harden, and some nights it's all of them, like it was in Game 4, scoring 104 points between the three. But tonight, Harden's got 16.7 assists already and 6 rebounds, perhaps on his way to a triple-double. The big three on the floor now. Kevin Durant for 3, cash.
You know, back in the day when you had less possessions, maybe it affects a trio like this a lot more, and you say, well, how are guys going to get shots? But because the pace is faster, more possessions, more shots up, guys are still going to be able to get the number of attempts, see a turnover by Boston, that they need to be successful with. You know what I mean? Because of the pace and number of possessions.
It's interesting watching Steve Nash here in the playoffs, how he's using his top 3 players. Harden has been the one to run with the bench for the most part, the second unit in the second quarter. And that's really where the Nets, I mean, their starting 5 is off the charts anyway, but they're going to run up against any bench in the NBA, and they're going to have more talent, more scoring.